And welcome back to part 4 of the 5th annual Northwest Can-Am Maverick Trail Meet here in Sumpter, Oregon. Bittersweet day. This is our last day of riding. It's like we're excited to go ride. We're excited about the day, but sad that it's just about over. And I want to just take one quick second again to thank the Sumpter RV Park for their hospitality. And I cannot recommend this RV park more. It really is a beautiful park. Plenty of room, plenty of shade, plenty of games and seats. I mean, they have everything here. We really appreciate their hospitality, and we will be back. Anyway, today's ride is over to the Austin House. I wish I could tell you exactly where it is. If you Google Austin House, you'll find it. I don't know if it's really in a town necessarily. It's kind of a junction of a couple of highways. It's an old building established in like the 1950s. It's a restaurant and a bar. It's a really neat place, really old, kind of cool building. And we ran into the same thing that we ran into on our lunch ride the other day when we went over to Unity for lunch. Yes, this was a restaurant, and yes, they had the capability to feed us, but how they could feed us all and in these shifts. And they came up with a great idea that they ended up doing like pulled pork sandwiches. And, you know, we all paid again, like I think $10 or $12 or something. And they had these smoked pulled pork sandwiches, and they fed us all. It was really, oh my gosh, it was so good. But anyway, that's the objective today, is to head over to the Austin House for lunch. This is an out and back, with the second half of the ride back being a little bit different loop, so a little bit different scenery for part of the ride back, but essentially an out and back. And it is another long day, 81 miles, I think, almost 82 miles, I can't remember, but fairly simple. Some cool trails, really some cool trails, and a lot of roads, but another epic, beautiful, amazing day, and a great way to close off this amazing event that we've had. Yeah, sit back and relax and enjoy.
Hey, I heard you want to leave this place where we grew up. This old town, just put it all behind. Remember you and I would always find somewhere to hide when we were kids, so we could see and hear the water run. The river's gonna cry when you're gone. River's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. River's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. River's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. River's gonna cry when you're. River's gonna cry when you're. River's gonna cry when you're gone. Hoping you would stay, but I've always known that you would go and find your own way. I still see when we climbed up in those trees, 12 years old, to feel the wind and watch the river run. And the sun would always shine when we sat there, you and I. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. The river's gonna cry when you're. The river's gonna cry when you're. The river's gonna cry when you're gone. It's leave it all behind. The river's gonna cry when you're gone.
So I talked about it a little bit in the videos prior to this one about how this event all came together, and I don't want to talk about it too long, but just if this is the first one you watch, just to tell you how all of these Maverick trails got together. We are all part of a Facebook group called Can-Am Maverick Trail. Once a year, the old buzzard. Now the old buzzard is also the admin of that Facebook group, so he keeps the peace and keeps the rules in place and moderates this really fantastic group. He wants us all to get together for a meet every year. And like I said, this is actually the 5th annual Northwest Maverick Trail meet. And he puts a lot of time and a lot of effort into organizing these things. I mean, almost right after one is over, he's already planning the next year's. And just got to give him a bunch of credit for the work he does in the group and in the Facebook page and the work he does in these events. I mean, it really is a lot of work for him to put these things together, and we all really appreciate it. And we cannot forget Dan's wife, Judy. I mean, she is the executive assistant for this mess, and she really does a great job of behind the scenes. I mean, she really does a lot of work, and I'd be a little remiss if I didn't mention Judy, and we really appreciate her and Dan for all of the work they put into this. I mean, they organize these lunches at these restaurants, like today at Austin House. I mean, there's so much behind the scenes that he does, and I just want to take a minute to say thanks to him. We're just thankful, truly thankful for these two for all of this work. As we get closer to the Austin House, way past Group 1, they are on their way back. We also come up on Group 2, also on their way back. And from here we get just a little stretch of highway, quarter mile, I don't know, not very far, to make it actually into Austin House. And they had quite a little setup here for us. We had tables to sit at, awnings to sit under, and we were the last group to arrive. Group 3 was still here, just finishing up. We were the last ones to show up. There was still plenty of food for us, and it was really good. Some like pulled pork sandwiches, coleslaw, some other things. It was fantastic. And big thanks to them for this lunch that they made for all of us. It was generous of them. We thank them for their time and effort, and it was really good food for us. Yeah, the building is just amazing. A lot of neat stuff, a lot of cool history in this building. But yeah, that's time for us to pack it up and turn around and start heading back. keep saying thank you, and all of these thank yous are deserved. There's one last thank you, I think, saving the best for last, for the ride leaders and the tail gunners that stepped up and volunteered to lead these groups. We appreciate it, cannot do it without you. I mean, you guys gave up your vacation to help us make sure that we have a good vacation. And this year was especially tough. There's a lot of trails up here, a lot of possible wrong turns. And we did take a few here and there. But all in all, the ride leaders did a fantastic job. And thank them for stepping up and doing this.
And this is a pleasure to give it to you. And there is no pressure, so people quick a little applause.
And because this is the last day here, and because it is the last video in this series, this is where we insert the epic montage.
It's funny how it all played out. Broken dreams seldom get realized. For me, you were a part of life that escaped and left me outside. Strange as it may sound, when I'm still, things seem to come around. The journey is not ours to control. 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 I'm glad that it is so. I'm lucky it is so. I'm glad that it is so. I'm lucky it is so.
And that does it for the 5th annual Can-Am Maverick Trail Meet in Sumpter, Oregon. We want to thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you all enjoyed it. For those of you that were there, I really hope that it brought back some of the memories and fun and just enjoyment that you all had while you were there. And since this is most likely the last video that we're going to be putting up for 2023, we just want to thank you all so much for the support this year. It means a lot to us. Thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for caring about what goes on in our little mediocre life. From my family to yours, we want to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. That does it for us. See you on the trails.